Here we are in 1.3, algebraic expressions. Make sure you write down your heading. The first two problems, we are going to talk about how to write an algebraic expression from words. As you can see here, we have the phrase 7 fewer than a number t. So 7 fewer than means I'm taking that away from my previous. So t actually has to go first, minus 7. So it's saying that 7 fewer than, you're taking it away from something. Now, 7 minus t is different than t minus 7. You have to make sure to write it as t minus 7. And the next phrase, we have 2 times the sum of a and b. As you can see here, we have times and sum right next to each other. Whenever you have an algebraic term right next to each other, you have to be careful how you write it. This is saying this 2 is being multiplied by the whole thing. So I'm going to have 2 times, and then I have to put parentheses because first I have to do a plus b, because the 2 has to be multiplied by the sum, this whole thing, in order to be correct. So those are my 2 algebraic expressions. Here you have to write an algebraic expression. You start with $20, so the $20 does not change. So I'm going to write down 20 right away, because that will not change. Each week you save $6, so you're adding to the 20. And each week, let's say, is modeled by an x, you're adding 6. So this is what the algebraic expression would look like. Try to attempt the next problem by yourself. So my next expression would be 150 minus 2x. Again, the 150 does not change. It's starting at that. But you're spending, so that means you should be subtracting $2 each day. So x would be modeling the days. Here you are going to be evaluating the expression, meaning I'm going to plug in these numbers, and once I plug in these numbers, I will get an actual number out. So you have to always make sure to show your work. So when you're showing your work, you have to plug in the whole thing. -4 is being replaced by 8. So you should always put whatever number is being replaced by in parentheses. So it has 7 times -4 plus 4 in parentheses plus 3 times 5. I want to make sure to put that in parentheses minus 8. Once you have this written out, you have to make sure to show your work. Once you have that written out, then you can put that whole thing exactly as it is in your calculator, and you should get 7 as your answer. Attempt the next problem by yourself. So this is what it should look like when you plug it in, and this would be showing your work. Again, you should plug it in just like as it is, and you would get 3/4 out, and that would be your answer for this problem. Right now, you should pause the video and read the problem. First, it's telling you, in case if you don't know the rules of football, what everything is worth. So I want you to figure out how many total points a football team scores. If they have 3 touchdowns, so it would be 3 times 6, because each touchdown is worth 6. And they have 2 extra points, and each extra point is worth 1. And 4 field goals, and 4 field goals is worth 3. And I should see this on your paper if this were given on a test, because that's showing your work. Once you have that, you can plug it into your calculator and get 32 points. Whenever you have a word problem, you should always have whatever you're talking about. So in this case, it's points. What else can we do with algebraic expressions? We can simplify. In this problem, there's no equal sign, so we cannot solve or evaluate. We're going to simplify. So simplifying is looking for like terms. So here is an x squared, so I'm going to box in anything that has an x squared. Here's also an x squared. If you notice, I make sure to also box in the negative. Subtraction is negative. I have to make sure to include that. And then I have an y squared and y squared. So if I combine these like terms, I just look at the coefficients. So my 7 and my -4, which would leave me with 3x squared. And for my y's, I have a +3 and a +2. So that add those together and you get 5y squared. As you can see, the variable did not change. X squared stayed the exact same. So if you look at the second problem, I want you to combine like terms. But first, you have to distribute the number out in front. Remember, if a negative is out in front, that's just like a -1. And you should have gotten these as your like terms. So I have a -3k and a positive 2k. That's going to leave me with a -1k. You don't have to have the 1 out in front. You can if you want. And my m's, I have a -m and a -8m. That would give me a -9m. So this would be my final answer. And that is all I have for algebraic expressions. Make sure you took good notes. Hey, you have a great day, all right?